Was Pat able to practice today?
Pat practice, Chris Livingston, they'll be available tomorrow. Chris Middleton will not play on that first leg of the back-to-back, but expect him ready for the Houston game. And then Giannis was feeling a little bit under the weather. I think he'll be fine, ready to go tomorrow, but I think he needed a little bit of R&R today, and then we'll just see how he feels tomorrow morning.
It's just an illness, not.
No, nothing. I think he'll be ready to go tomorrow.
I guess just with Pat, how excited is it to kind of get him back? I know you guys have been a little thin in the wing here.
No, Pat is, he's a big part of what we're doing. He's won a lot of games for us, and just having his veteran leadership off the bench. But I think we did a great job covering for him, but it's good to have him back in the mix. So I don't know how many minutes tomorrow, but it's going to be great having him on the court again.
It had been a little while since Andre had seen as much run as he saw the other night. What did you like about what he did the other night, and kind of how do you see him fit in?
I thought he did a tremendous job of coming in and changing the pace of the game with his energy, just getting that tip dunk and just picking up full court. He's kind of like the blueprint, I would say, when you're talking to especially young kids about you don't have to score all the time to impact the game. There's a lot of different ways to impact the game with your hustle, with your effort, getting on the offensive glass, screening, rolling. He's a total team player. So I thought he did a tremendous job of coming in and just staying ready. He sits there sometimes. Some games he plays, some games he doesn't play. But I think he's learning and already learned the most important thing about being a professional is that you have to be on when, and that doesn't always mean scoring, but you have to bring whatever it is to the table every single night at a high level. And for him, it's just energy and effort. So extremely pleased with his performance the other night.
We saw Jae getting in some work. Is he still kind of on track for that?
Yeah, he's on track, but he's looking good. He's doing a tremendous job with his rehab and with the coaches on the court, and he's moving. He looks good. Every day he's doing a little bit more. Hasn't lost his ability to shoot the three. I'm just watching him after practice, and he's knocking it down. So, but he's right. I don't anticipate any time soon, but he's right on track.
Have you leaned on your starting five? I mean, I know Chris's restriction aside, Giannis, Dane, Brook, Malik, maybe a little more than you thought, like minutes-wise? Or was this sort of the plan to think like, okay, Dame and Giannis could carry a load at 35, 36? I know there's games they've gone up to 40-plus even. Was that kind of the preseason plan with those guys, or is it because of some of the injuries and restrictions you've kind of leaned on them early, more here?
Yeah, no, I think they're right where they should be. There's some games where we need them. I think in the in-season tournament, I had them a little bit more rotations as far as on the court, getting them in, try to get them a quick breather, get them back out there. But I think they've been great as far as minutes. But we've had some, bodies out where certain games we need them back in the game. But I think our bench has been great coming in. It's giving those younger guys opportunities to play. AJ had a couple of good games down that stretch. Dre as well. Marjon is getting some minutes so he can showcase what he can do. Bobby's been phenomenal the last couple games. So I think our bench has been great. But there are some times where, depending on the flow of the game, the momentum of the game, I have left them in a little bit longer, but I think they're right where they should be, 32, 33 minutes, with our primary guys. And then there's going to be games where we need them a little bit longer, but I think they're right on track, I think.
Tuesday obviously had a lot of juice to it on that game against against the Pacers. With a team like that, you're going to play 5 times in 2 months. Do you kind of like that? Do you think the regular season sort of needs that for a team to kind of have extra, juice to a competitive game like that?
No, I just, listen, every game is important. We have Detroit tomorrow, and you got to put the energy and effort. Did we have a little extra motivation? Probably so, since it was a quick turnaround. We just played them in Vegas, and our guys were, ready to go. But you have to be ready to go every game. it doesn't matter. This is the NBA, so we got to, our focus now is on Detroit, and it's easy to look at their record, but they have a lot of good players, and every game, like I said, you got to put the effort and the energy and the execution. So we just got to focus on tomorrow right now.
Is there a way you can kind of prepare your players for what you may expect to be a team very, very desperate, obviously trying to end a 21-game losing streak?
No, just we walk through. I think the most thing is just you always prepare. Prepare as best as you can. We don't like to skip steps. We don't like to cut corners and just say, hey, we're playing Detroit. We don't have to, go over our coverages. We don't have to watch film and whatnot. I think that's a recipe for disaster. I watched the Detroit games. They're in the game, in these games. They got really good talent on the floor, and you got to respect the game and you got to respect your opponent. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance. And when you don't, this league, has a way of kind of every time you're feeling too good where you feel like you can skip the steps, this league has a way of kind of bringing you back down to reality. So definitely not taking them lightly, and we're going to prepare like we always do. And our team we got a team full of professionals. Like, they know what's at stake. But at the same time, it's our job to get them ready, and I believe we'll be ready tomorrow.
How much does that Portland experience kind of help you in that regard to kind of realize you can't take anything for granted? Obviously, you won that game, but had to erase a big hole.
Yeah, I don't know if we took Portland light or not. I mean, we did get down in that game. We found a way to scrap and get back in the game. Obviously, you don't want to get down 26 points. But, again, Portland's a very good defensive team. Going into that game, they were 1 or 2 in turnovers. So they were doing this to every team. And, you're going to – I talk to my team all the time about you're going to expect the best from our opponents. Every game is going to be a fight. But I believe our team is taking the challenge, and we'll be ready for tomorrow.
I know when we talk about the Pacers and their pace, we often think about fast break basketball, but it feels like in the half court they move around a lot. They really make you work and have good pace in the half court. What do you see from your team switching some of those actions and communicating and talking through all of that?
It was a good test for us because they do, when you talk about Indiana, not only do they play fast in transition, but they play extremely fast in the half court. They have some guards that just play with great pace. They slip out screens. They fly around. They go to the next action, second, third action. So you got to guard multiple sets. And I thought we did a good job with our switches. It was one of the things that we worked on very hard and shoot around in the practice prior to the game. So I talked to the team just about. I thought we were making really good strides, and the game plan and carrying over to the game and executing what we need to execute in the game. I just felt like that game, things were starting to come together on both sides. Offensively, I think we've been ahead offensively, and our defense is, playing catch up. But I thought we had both sides, rolling, and that's important. You got to be strong on both sides of the ball. So, but Indiana was definitely a good test for us, and now we got another good test coming up tomorrow.
When we saw you post game, you had not really been up to speed or saw like the tunnel situation. You said you were going to talk to John. So I guess what was that conversation like, and did you either have to talk to the guys about that incident, and also did you guys have to maybe call Indiana because to smooth anything over?
No, I think for us right now was just focus on Detroit. What I take away from that Indiana game was Giannis was phenomenal. He had a career or franchise record, and Dame breaking a 3-point all-time, 5th all-time 3-point shooting record. That's what we're taking away from it, and then the rest. It's out of our control. We just get ready for tomorrow.
What was it like to have the Make-A-Wish kids?
It was awesome. I think we need to do it more. I always say there's some things that are bigger than basketball, and this is one of the things, having the children come in, and I thought our players were great with them. this gives us in a sense a reality check of like these are really the heroes. These kids that are fighting for their lives, and they come in with a smile on their face. They're so excited to meet the players, and I thought the players again did a really good job of just making them feel special. But I think we need to do a little bit more of that. That's what it's all about. That's why we play the game.